So here, I'm gonna make chicken broth. So the way that I do this, I do it with all different kinds of chicken, but here I'm gonna do it with 10 chicken thighs so that I can make shredded chicken to go with all the rest of my meals for the rest of the week. Then put 6 cups of water in there so I have tons of broth. Then my seasonings, chicken broth seasoning, parsley, basil, garlic powder, onion powder, and then I like to use that Creole, plus salt and pepper, of course, lots of salt. Then for an added flavor, I like to add coconut oil and butter. Of course, it's really good fat with the chicken, helps it be more like a protein, also in the broth. And that's about 1/4 cup of coconut oil and then like 1/4 cup of butter. I like to use raw butter. And then thyme essential oil. Really good flavor. So now I'm gonna secure the lid where it's on, and then for the button wise on the Instapot, you're gonna push the stew button and it should be about 30 minutes. Then I will manually put it to where it's at 35 minutes instead of just 30, because I like to cook it where the chicken is extra tender and it will shred really easily. Then you just put it on, it'll preheat, and there you go. Okay, so while this is cooking, I'm gonna make some chocolate cake. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You're okay. You're okay. They apparently don't want me to cook. Separation issues. Yeah, gluten free, dairy free, and sugar free. It's a very free cake. It still tastes really good. It does not taste like it should be good for you, I promise. It's super easy. All you do is just put all of the ingredients in a food processor. You put it in the pan, you put it in the oven, then you make the frosting, which is like 3 ingredients, literally. There you go, you have a very fancy looking dessert that really was not that hard to make. There we go, oh, we did it. Woo! You're a real chef. I'm gonna be a super pro if I can do one hand cracking 6 eggs plus holding a baby in the other hand. I've lost count. the chicken is done. It beeped, so what I do here is slow release, and I let it sit for about 10 minutes until the pressure went down so far that it unlocks the lid. The lid will not unlock until the pressure is low enough that you can release it. Now I'm going to separate the broth and the chicken, pour the broth into one container, and then I'll put it into another one and put the chicken in there also, separate it so I have the broth for the butternut squash soup. And I'll just let both of those sit aside because the chicken is piping hot. Can't really do anything with that. Now, time for the butternut squash soup. So I'm going to mince an onion to put on the bottom for flavor, and the way that I do this is I put the Instapot on saute. So when you put it on saute, it's going to heat up kind of like a skillet, and then you put your onions, and then you'll put your butter and butternut squash soup and just saute them all together so it has kind of a crystallized outer edge on it, and then we'll cook it. After you saute it, then you put the lid back on and get that locked, and then you let it finish cooking. So it can be for about 10 minutes. I manually put it on for 10 minutes. And then after it's done, then you, of course, add your seasonings. Then when it's done, you can take a little hand blender and blend all that up together. After it's ready to be blended up, then I add about a half a cup of heavy cream and then a half a cup of cheddar cheese, and of course salt and pepper if it still needs to have a little bit more flavor. But see how smooth this is? That is no added flour or anything like that. Perfect. Does that taste like it's gluten-free?
It tastes like it's gluten-free.
We should probably go check on our baby.
Huh?
We should probably go check on our baby.
She's alright.
No,